Good evening everyone. In this video, we'll be learning about one of the most important elements of any sentence that is also a part of speech. Generally, as we know that there are 8 parts of a speech. The first one is noun. Generally speaking, nouns are all those words which name something. That means something or some people or place, living, non-living, whatever, abstract, concrete, all those types. So to be very precise, all naming words are actually noun. A noun is a word used as the name of a person, place or thing. For example, if we talk about Abdul, Qasim, Baghdad, Ahmed, Gandhi, Nehru, Modi, all those peoples are noun. For example, there are other things also which we can name. We name actually years, merchant, main, country, boxes, gold, land, house, gardens, money, dates, water, shoemaker, leather, all these things. So if we consider these things, then for example, for example, Abdul, Qasim, Nehru, Gandhi, Delhi. Understood? So these are generally a proper noun. That's why the initial letter would be captured. Similarly, there are common noun as well. For example, years, merchant, main, country, water, etc. So we have given examples for proper noun, and these are common nouns. These are proper because these are fundamentally single, right? Identifiable as well as definite, and these are only one in the world actually. If we say, for example, there may be Abdul, hundreds of Abdul, thousands and lakhs of Abdul, but if we are talking about Abdul, then we are talking about an individual, not all those people named Abdul. Similarly, Qasim, Nehru, Gandhi, Delhi, these are proper nouns, as well as these are the definite and singular in form. So similarly, years, merchant, main, country, water, etc. These are common nouns, because if we say years, then we are not defining it with the singularity, right? Even if we use singular form of year, then also it is a common noun because it represents a class of time, right? Similarly, merchant, if we say merchant, then we are not defining it, right? We are defining it only with a class, because there may be different merchants, there are numbers of merchants, but we are defining only the class of merchant, not one individual, right? Similarly, main, this is also class, and country, this is also class, right? If we say India, then that is proper noun. If we say Pakistan or Nepal or China or America, then United States, then that is proper noun. But if we only say country, then that is common. Similarly, water and other things are there, as you know. So fundamentally, the difference is a proper noun is the name of some particular person or place, etc. First letter always capital. For example, Delhi, Taj Mahal. If we write Taj Mahal here, then we cannot write like this, right? Because this is proper noun. We must have to capitalize the initial. Or if we have to write Ram, that is proper noun. There may be different people with the same name, but if we use capital letter and if we use Ram as a noun, then we are meaning a certain person, a particular person. For example, if I write here for your better understanding, My brother Anil has a dog named Tommy. Now, uh, my brother, here brother is a common noun, right? Because there are brothers, right? But Anil is a particular person. So this is proper noun. Again, dog is a class of an animal, right? That is why this is common noun. But Tommy, a particular dog, definite dog. So the dog which my brother has, whose name is Tommy, is proper noun. So again, if I write like once upon a time there was a man named Haricharan. Here you see, once upon a time. Here time is this once upon a time is the adverb actually, and there was a man. Here man is common noun, but we are referring to a man whose name is Haricharan. There Haricharan is proper noun. I hope you have understood so far. Now if we write like Akbar was another example. Akbar was a great king. Now here Akbar is proper noun and great is adjective and king is the common noun. Understood? So moving forward, a common noun is a name given in common to every person actually or thing of the same class or kind. That means if we talk about king, then we are giving a name to a class or the kind of that person, right? Similarly, years, merchant, main, country, boxes, gold, land, houses, gardens, money, dates, water, shoes, shoemaker, leather, etc. These all are common nouns, right? Now, if we see that years, merchant, main, country, boxes, houses, these examples, shoemaker, etc. These examples are actually countable, right? Because we can count them. There are 5 years, 10 years, 100 years, 1000 years, like that. Similarly, merchant, we can count them, right? If we say more than one merchant, then that becomes 2 merchants, 3 merchants, 5 merchants, 10 merchants, like that. Similarly, main will become men, men, right? Country, countries, box, boxes, house, houses, gardens, dates, shoes, etc. But if we talk about other common noun like gold, land, money, water, leather, these are though common noun, but they are not countable, right? That is why they do not come directly under countable nouns. We can give a certain value to them, or we can give some quantity to them. We can quantify them, but we cannot actually count them. So we can count rupees, for example. We can count rupees, but rupees, dollar, but we can't count money. You understood? Now we can count rupees because we can give a certain amount to it, right? 1 rupee, 2 rupees, 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 100 rupees, like that. $1, $2, $3, like that, right? But we cannot count money. Money is an uncountable noun. Though these all are common nouns, so fundamentally we have found proper noun and common noun. In common noun, we have so far discovered that those are two. There are two types. So if we classify them for our convenience, we can classify like noun into two part: proper and common. And in common, you can classify countable and uncountable. Now let's see what are the countable nouns. The important feature about countable noun is, since we can count them, we must give a number to it. For example, we can use a or n before a countable noun, but we can't use the same before an uncountable uncountable noun. For example, that is an elephant, right? Or give me an orange, right? Or that is a tree. Here we have used we have given a certain number or an article before every noun here. See, elephant we can count, right? Orange we can count, and again tree we can count. If we pluralize elephant, then that becomes elephants, oranges, trees, similarly, right? So since we can count them, we have used n or a before them according to their initial consonant or vowel. E and O are vowel, that is why we have used n, and just before t, since t is a consonant, we have used a. Now if we see sugar is sweet, right? I want some tea, right? Again, gold is very expensive, right? Water is a liquid. Milk is a very good food. Now you notice here that in front of these countable nouns we have used a or n, right? But in front of this uncountable noun we have not used either a or n, because we cannot count them. We can only quantify them. We will be learning that how we quantify them using different kinds of words like some, any, several, a lot of, etc. We will be learning them a little later after this initial introduction. So here we see sugar is sweet. We cannot say like a sugar is sweet or n sugar is sweet, the sugar is like that, right? We can use the sugar, but we cannot use a or n, because a or n is a quantifiable or numbering element, but the is not the numbering element, that is the definite article that we will be learning in determiner. I want some tea. You cannot say like I want a tea, right? So gold is very expensive. We do not say, or we generally do not refer like a gold is very expensive, right? If we are using a gold is very expensive, then we are not referring it to a piece of gold, we are referring it to the class of gold. Okay, so if we are referring gold as a class and generalizing it, then we can use a, otherwise we cannot number it by saying a gold or n gold like that. So similarly water and milk. Now one important point to remember is remember here is uncountable noun, you can note it down, has no plural, right? Because we cannot count them or we cannot number them, isn't it? For example, some boys are playing football. Here boys countable. That is why we have referred them, right? That's why, since boys are countable, boys singular and plural boys, right? That's why we have used these boys. But you see here, sugar is usually white. We can never write like sugars are, okay? Because here sugar is the uncountable noun. That is why we cannot write sugars are. We can only write sugar is usually white, because we use this uncountable form of noun only in the singular form, singularity, okay, not the plural one. Another example for your clarification, there there are some birds on that tree, but there is some water in the glass. Now you notice here, if you read it, you will find that there are some birds, right? Here bird is singular, we have used this s extra for pluralizing it, right? But there is some water. Even if there is not a single drop of water, but there is quantity of water, right? But we are not using it waters in the glass. Are you getting me? That is why this noun, uncountable noun, we are writing it in a singular subject verb agreement, isn't it? There is some water. There are, it's not like there are some water. You cannot write like that. I hope you have understood. Now we are moving towards, for example, countable noun. For example, 1, 2, 10, 100. We can use these words before countable noun. 1, 2, 10, 100, thousands, like that, right? But for example, here she has 3 pens. I have 10 marbles, books. Okay, like that. Now, what about uncountable noun? So far, we have learned the very basic things about how nouns are fundamentally two types: proper noun and common noun. All common nouns can be defined, can be described and classified into either countable or uncountable. Now, how we describe countable noun? Either with the help of a or n, or with the help of other articles, but in front of uncountable noun, we cannot use a or n. We can quantify them with the help of other words, there is no doubt, but we cannot use particularly the numbering words, right? 1, 2, 3, like that. Now, we are moving to how we explain uncountable noun, okay? You must have heard these words: few, a few, the few, many, several, a large number of, etc. Now, see, these words are generally used with countable nouns. Okay, for example, there are few boys in the class today. Are there many apples in the basket? There are several lions in the zoo. Now we are using these words in front of countable nouns. Okay. Now if we move forward, then we'll get to know that which are the words that we use in front of uncountable nouns. For example, you must have seen these words or read these words: little, a little, the little, much, a large number of, a large quantity of, etc. For example, there is a little milk in that cup. We don't have a little, we don't have much sugar in the house. One more example for your convenience: a large quantity of rice was found in that godown. One more example so that it helps you: the shopkeeper gave me only a little kerosene. Now you see, since we have already told you that, I have already told you that countable nouns are those which we can count, right? And we can use numbers like 1, 2, 10, 100, etc., right? And few, a few, the few, many, several, a large number of, etc. are generally used in front of those countable nouns. For example, there are few boys in the class today. So since we can count these nouns, we can count this noun boy and we can pluralize it with the help of a. Similarly, apples, we can count this, right? That's why we have used few, many, several, like that. But if we see little, a little, the little, much, a large quantity, these are the quantifying words. These words are quantifying. If we use these words, that they do not number, they do not give a certain countable number, verifiable number. They give us a verifiable quantity. That is why there is a little milk in that cup. We cannot count 1 drop milk, 2 drops milk, like that, right? Similarly, we don't have much sugar in the house. So sugar, since we cannot count, but we can quantify it. Similarly, a large quantity of rice was found in that godown. That means the rice may be like 100 kgs, 200 kgs, 500 kgs, like that, kilos, but we cannot quantify it with the help of number. We can quantify it only with the portion. Okay. Similarly, the shopkeeper gave me only a little kerosene. I hope you have understood. This is very simple. Moving forward, there are some words: some, any, no, enough, plenty of, a lot of. We have used this word, right? Lots of, but without understanding the proper use of them, we use them generally, right? Let's understand what are their uses. For example, this lots of and a lot of, plenty of, enough, no, any, these are the words that we use in both the type of noun, either like whether it's countable or non uncountable. We use these words based on their sense of meaning, okay, where we are using and in which context we are using. For example, there are some boys in front of the school. Now, as we have said that some is generally used to mean a quantity of anything, right? But here, since we do not know how many boys are standing there in front of the school, that's why we have just put an idea that there are some boys, maybe 10, 12, 15, 100, like that. But we are just quantifying them with the help of this article, some. Again, there is some sand in that box. This we have used this some boys for countable noun and for some same for uncountable noun, the same word, some. Again, let me give you one more example so that it becomes easy for you. He hasn't any pencil. Pencil is a countable noun, right? But since he doesn't have any pencil, we can use this word in front of countable noun. Now let me have a say. Have you any money, or do you have any money? Like this. We have read it little earlier that we can count rupees, dollar, but we cannot count money, right? Here, you see, we cannot count money, but here I have given you this word again to mean that have you any money, right? Any is generally used in front of countable, right? But here we have used in front of uncountable also, because these words you can either use in countable or uncountable. One more example. There is a lot of sugar in that jug. See, let me give you one more example for so that it helps you. There are plenty of mangoes. See, we can count mango, right? But I am using here another aphorism for this. Plenty of mangoes in the market. If we want to count the mangoes that are available in market, we can count them. But we are not counting them, we are quantifying them with the help of plenty of. That is the sense here. That's why I am saying that based on the context, we can either use some, any, no, enough, plenty of, a lot of, lots of, according to whether it's singular or plural, we can use these words. Now let's see. We cannot count uncountable noun, right? But we can quantify them, or we can give a certain amount to them. For example, can we count rice? Can we count bread? Can we count luck? Can we count laughter? Can we count poetry? Again, can we count sugar? Can we count rain? Can we count gold? No, right? But we can give a certain. Can we count news? Can we count again advice? Now let's see how we quantify them one by one. We can say a plate of rice, right? Or a kilo of rice. We can also say a loaf of bread. We can say a slice of bread. We can again say a piece of bread, a piece of luck, a burst of laughter. See, we cannot count laughter, right? If somebody is laughing, how can we count that? Say, one laugh, two laugh, like that? So, if a person laughs, then we can quantify it by the use of a burst of laugh. A peal of laughter, otherwise. A piece of poetry, or more popularly, a piece of art, piece of art, like that. Okay, we can use them in different contexts with the help of these words. A piece of news, an item of news, an item of news, right? So there are some exceptions apart from these. We'll be discussing that in subsequent classes. I hope this video will help you to learn the very basic concepts about nouns. Will be coming forward with other videos with other different concepts of grammar. We have launched this online platform for all those people who have difficulties learning the very basic stages and subsequently the difficult and advanced stages of grammar, English grammar and English language as a whole. Thank you so much.